Hi everyone and welcome to this new session. Today we're going to be building this Instagram postcard and I'll show you step by step how to do that. So with no further ado, let's quickly start styling up that. Okay, so here we have our HTML file. So what I'm going to do is to create the boilerplate for this. And here you only have to tap HTML and you get the whole the whole of it. Now here I'm going to say Instagram clone. I mean Instagram card, not Instagram clone. I'll say Instagram card like this. And all I'm going to do here is to start styling that, and I'll put a main file so that it contains our whole Instagram card. And here I'm going to create a postcard, a div with a class of postcard. And in this postcard we are going to have some elements inside, and the first element we are going to have here is going to be the postcard header, where we'll have our profile picture. So I'm going to say Instagram header, or to make it easy I'll say postcard header like this. Okay, so if you wonder how I'm creating that, I'm using Emmet. It's an extension in Visual Studio Code that will help you create div with classes easily. So in this postcard header, I'm going to have a profile. On one side I'll have a profile like this, and that profile is going to contain an image that I will look for later. And another thing, I will have a anchor tag where there is my name, and here I'm going to say Martin, just like that. So on the other side I'll have a span on the left. So this span, to make it easy, I'm going to put only 3 dots in that span. Okay, so let me first create the boilerplate of the whole card so that later on we can style it. So what I'm going to do next, I will go to the next step, and here instead of postcard we are now going to have postcard image, right, where we're going to have our post now. So I'm going to say postcard image like this, and this postcard image is going to contain an image also, and you'll see that in practice. And maybe this, I'll say this is the image and this is the profile. Okay, and we add this kind of description for the SEO, so that when an image doesn't load, maybe because of because of internet conditions, you'll see that kind of description. Okay, so now after creating that image, now next I'm going to create the caption part of it. All right, so here down I'm going to say caption. We'll have a caption like this, and this caption basically is going to have my likes, my comments, and it's also going to have some actions, like where you can like, where you can comment, where you can share the post, right? So this caption, I'm going to create another div inside of that div, and this div is going to be actions. Okay, and basically these actions are going to be places where you can like the picture, you can comment, you can share. And it's also going to have a bookmark part, so I'll divide it in 2 sections. I'll say, oh, give me a sec. I'll say section, and this is going to be the left part of the section. Okay, so I'm going to say actions left like this, and it's created. You see how Emmet is making life easy. So I just type section like this. I just type section and I add a class, and now here we are going to the right part, and now it's going to be section right. Okay, section right like this. So now I'll first skip. I'll come back to that part later because we need to add on some other stuff, so I'll come back to that later. So apart from actions, I'm going to have paragraphs down that actions, and those paragraphs, I think I need only 4 paragraphs. Yeah, so I'm going to say P times 4 and have 4 paragraphs created, and this one is going to contain my likes, so I'm going to just say 200 likes. And here we are going to have, this paragraph is going to have an anchor tag containing, that anchor tag will contain our name, and that name is going to point at something. Like in the case of Instagram, the name should point at your profile, but in my case I'm not going to do that. I'll do it simply, and I'll say this name should point maybe at my website. Okay, I'm going to just put it so that it points at my website. It's as simple as that. And I'm going to put a caption now. This is going to be hello world, and those are the words you put in when you want to post some pictures. So down that I have a paragraph, and this paragraph is going to have a comment. Okay, and I'll say show 25 comments. I'll make it simple, and down here I'm going to add another class, and this class is going to contain the time when I posted the picture, and here I'm going to say 1 hour ago. And now these values are now hard coded, but in real life you may you may pull those values from an API, okay, so that they keep on updating. So down this part I'm going to have another section. So this was the caption section, and we are going to have the comment section, and this is where you can post something. Okay, and I just wanted to say comment section, and this comment section is going to have a span, and this span will have a class, and it's going to have a class of smiley. Okay, and that's because we are going to insert a smiley there, and beside that we'll have another div, and this div is going to have a class of input because it's going to contain our input field, but I'm surrounding the input field with a div so that we give it some sort of styling. And placeholder, I'm going to have here placeholder, and this is going to be add a comment. Just want to make it simple, and that is add a comment. Okay, and down here we're going to have a disabled button. So button disabled, and it's going to have a class of public. It's going to have a label of publish, right? So now here we come back here where we have actions, and remember those actions are icons, if I'm to say like that. So those icons, we are going to get them from Bootstrap icons, and to do that I'll to my browser. I wanted to say I'll go back to my browser. So now here in my browser, if I refresh, you see all our elements are now coming out, right? But let me first get a picture, and this is going to be my own picture. Right? And you can use any picture you want, and the one I'm going to get is this one right here. Okay, and I'll copy image address. I come back here and I put it right here. where we have an image, not there but here, Control V, and here, okay, so that you have it twice. All right, and now after getting that image, you see I have put it right here and here, the same image. So if I go back to my browser and I look at my website or my Instagram card, I refresh, you see now the pictures, one is there and the second picture is there, but at this moment they are not styled, right? And before I add the icons, the like icon, the comment icon, and the bookmark icon, let me first style these elements that are already available for us. So I'll go back to my IDE and come here to my style.css, and I have to make sure that it's imported here. So here I'm going to say links, and href is going to be style.css, and you have to make sure that your file is imported. So here I'm going to say all. I'll select all the elements and I'll give them a margin of 0, and I'll select the main tag, and this main tag is going to have a height of 100 view height, and it's going to have a width of 100%. I just have to make sure that it takes the whole available space, and I'll say display flex. And next step, it's going to be align items center and justify content center, that way. And next step, I'm going to give it a background, and the background is going to be white smoke, so it's kind of white but not that same white. It has some kind of shadow. And here flex direction, it's going to be column, so that all the elements are placed in sort of columns. And next step, I'm going to select my postcard, and this postcard, I'm going to give it a background. I'm going to give it a background color of white, not white smoke but white, and I'll give it a border of 1 pixel, solid, light gray. Okay, and you'll see that in a second how it becomes and how it starts to look like the real Instagram postcard. And I'll add here border radius, and this border radius is going to be a 4 pixel border radius. So now, after making all those changes, let's first see how our website looks like. Okay, so if I refresh, now you see everything is centered in the middle, and here, I mean, it stops at 100 view height, but here you can spot the difference. The card is white and the whole background is light, I mean it's white smoke. So this is the white color and this is the white smoke color. Now you see the difference, right? So next step, I'm now going to style the header, the card header, and all I'm going to do here is to say postcard header, because that's the class I gave it, postcard header. And here I'm not using any specific naming convention. I was supposed to use the BEM convention because I like the BEM convention, but I'm not using that. But as a best practice, you can use the BEM convention to do that. Okay, so here postcard header, it's also going to have a display flex, and beside that we are going to have align item center, so that everything gets aligned in the center vertically, and justify content like horizontally we align center. Now next step, all I'm going to do is to give it a padding. Okay, and the padding is going to be a 10 pixels padding. So if you take a look again, you will see some changes, and let me show you. So if I refresh here, okay, you see now this picture is kind of disappearing, because remember this is our profile and this is our name, and we have the 3 dots. Now you can't see them, right now, but it will make sense in a second. So let me finish that styling. So what I'm going to do here is to say, after styling the postcard header, I'm going to style the postcard header span. That means I'm going to style the three dots, okay? Because I gave them they have they are a span. And here I'm going to say postcard header, and the direct child, which is a span, give it this following styling, and say font size. Font size should be 22 pixels, and font weight should be 800. Okay, and the next step after doing that, I'll style the profile, because remember the profile is right here. The profile is here and the span is here. So now let me style the profile so that the image get resized accordingly. So I'm going to say profile, and this profile is going to have a display of flex, and I'll say align items center. I'll align the items in the center, align items center, and justify content center. Okay, so now I'm going to target the image inside of that profile. I'll say image, and all I mean by targeting the image is right here. You see that class of profile, but inside you have an image, and that is the image I'm targeting. So I'll say profile image. It's going to have a height of 2.4 m, and it's also going to have a width of 2.4 m, this way, and a border radius of 50%, so that it becomes a circle. So if you check at this, let me show you, and you have to refresh. When I refresh right here, you see now it has also disappeared, and that has disappeared because we have to give this whole postcard, we have to give it some sort of height and style this other image. But if I do this, I think this way it's going to work. In the postcard, I should just remove, right here, let me remove these align items. Justify content. If I remove this, hopefully we are going to see it. So if I remove this justify content right here, hopefully we are going to see that. So if I go back here and I refresh, yeah, we are seeing it right here. Okay, now it's kinda styled up the upper part, and let's continue styling that way. And I'm going to say here, next step, there is this part. Where is it? Give me a sec. There is this profile and the span. The postcard header containing the profile and the span. I would like to give it an additional styling this way. Okay, right here, this profile and this span, I would like them to have a space between them. Okay, so I'm going to go back to postcard header, and I'll say, instead of justify content, I'll say space between. Okay, so that we get some space between them. So if you take a look and refresh, okay, you see now this is pushed to the right and this is pushed to the left, and now it looks a little bit more than the Instagram postcard. All right, so I'm going to continue with that styling. I have styled the profile image, and now I want to give it a border. Okay, so now if you see here, right here on Instagram, we have some kind of border that shows that someone has added something to their, how do they call it, like status, I don't know, but I'm going to add that border there so that it looks a little bit nicer. And I'm going to say border is going to be a 2 pixels solid RGB, and this is going to be 233, and for the green I'll have a 85, and here it's also going to be an 85. So now if you go back and give that a try, hopefully we should see that. So one thing, you have to refresh. When I refresh here, you see now this little border has come to life, okay? And I think that looks a little bit nicer. So next step, I'm going to continue with the stylings, and all I'm going to style is the anchor tag. And I'll style the anchor tag globally, like whenever we see the anchor tag on that HTML, we would like to give it the same, CSS or the same styling. And I'll start by saying text decoration none, and the color is going to be black, because remember it has like an underline, but we don't want that underline. We only want it when you hover over that element. And the color was blue. Now we have changed it to a black color, and we have a font weight. And now this font weight is going to be 700, and the font family, I'll say a sans serif. The serif doesn't look really professional. Now I've removed it, and now we have a padding left on the anchor tag, so that it separates the profile picture from that anchor tag. We get some space, and here it's going to be a 12 pixels. Okay, now I'll have a, when we hover over that anchor tag, and I'll have a hover property here, and this property I'm going to say text decoration, and now this is where I want to have that underline, and I'll say simply underline. So if we give this a try, and hopefully you should see some changes. This is how it was right here. You see, if I refresh, suppose the new, you see the new theme, it has changed, okay? And I think that looks really nice. So let's continue the styling, and next what I'm going to do is to style the postcard image, right? And I'm going to be a little bit quick, and I'll say postcard image, and I'll tag the image inside, and I'm going to say the width should be 100%, should be take the whole available width, and the height should be 23 rem, so that it doesn't get the whole available height, but we only get 23 rems. And now I'm going to go a bit quick and continue the caption. And this caption, oh, give me a sec, caption, okay, this caption should have a padding of 10 pixels, yeah, not 110 pixels, but only 10 pixels, and it should have a font family of sans serif, just this way. And now the next part is going to be all the paragraphs inside the caption. And remember, we have put a bunch of paragraphs, and now I'm going to style them all. Then for some of them I'll give specific stylings, and I'll say margin top. Each one should have a margin top of 7 pixels, and next step, they should have a margin bottom of 7 pixels. Okay, and I'm doing this so that on the left and on the right the styling stays the same. That I'm specifying margin top and margin bottom, because I could do it like it's only margin, but that way I would change the margin on the top, on the left and the bottom on the left and the right, but I don't want to change that. So now after doing that, the next step, I'm going to, okay, let's first see how it looks like at this specific point. So that's how it was. After applying the style, you have to refresh. When I refresh, now it looks a bit like the real Instagram postcard. Okay, I mean the top part, but from here going down, it's still not nice. Now this is where I'm going to add on, and what I'm going to add here is the 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 icons. Sorry, I'm going to add the icons, and the icons I'm going to add here, they're going to be the bootstrap icons. Okay, so all you need is to go to bootstrap, and here you'll see a bunch of icons, but when you scroll you see all of them, but all I'm interested in at this moment, it's this CDN. Okay, for the style, you just click here and you copy that in your code, and you copy that, give me a sec. Okay, this way you go back and you copy that in your head file, like right here. I'm going to say Ctrl V. Okay, that way. So now we are going to add those bunch of icons, and remember we're adding them in this section part, and especially most of them are going to be in the left. So I'm going to say span, and I'll say I this way, and I add class. Now let me just copy this and repeat that a bunch of time. Okay, on the left side we have 3 icons, on the right side we will have only one, and here this is going to be the bootstrap icon, and that is going to be the heart, I think. I don't know, let me just give it a try. And this is the bootstrap icon chart, and this is the bootstrap icon. I think the last one is a cursor, and on the right side it's going to be the bootstrap icon bookmark. This way, bookmark. Okay, now if I give this a try, I go back here. Now I go back to my project. If I refresh, okay, you see now they have appeared, right? We have one here, 2, 3, 4, and I want to add another one in the comment section, and especially it's going to be that smiley. Remember, we had put a class of smiley right here in this span, so I'm going to add an I right like this, and this is going now to have a class, and it's going to be bootstrap, I think bootstrap smile. I don't know, I think it's bootstrap smile. So give this a try. I refresh. No, it's not bootstrap smile. And if you don't see the icon you're looking for, you just come on bootstrap, there is filter, and you just type smile, and they will show it to you. It's emoji. Mine is here, this is the one I'm going to use. It's emoji smile instead of smile. So I will go back here and say emoji smile. Right here it's going to be bi emoji smile. So after putting all those elements, I'm now going to style them one by one. So I've already styled the caption paragraph, and now I'm going to style the actions. Okay, and actions contains, it's right here, let me show it to you. Actions, give me a sec. Yeah, actions is here, and it contains all these icons. Okay, so if I'm to style the actions part, I'll say display flex, and align items center. I would like to align them in the center, and justify content. It's going to be space between, and font size. Font size is going to be 24 pixels. And next step, I'm going to say font weight. Font weight is going to be 700 this way. Now I'm going to style the left part, all the spans in the left part. Okay, so I'll say actions left, actions left span, this span, and all I'm going to do here is giving them a padding right, not only a padding but a padding right, so that we have some spaces among them or between them, and this is going to be at 12 pixels. And now we will have this caption part. We'll have the caption part right here. Let me show it to you. The caption part is down here. Give me a sec. Where did I put the caption part? Okay, it's of this whole part, but I would like to access only this paragraph, and let me give it a class. I'll say class of likes, okay, so that I access it by its class. So we'll have caption. Did I write caption or captions? It was caption. So I'll say caption and access the direct child having the class of likes, and that direct child I would like to give it I would like to give it a font weight. I would like to give it a font weight of 700, and I would like to continue and say margin top and margin bottom of 10 pixels. Margin top 10 pixels, margin bottom 10 pixels, and I'm giving it a margin top and bottom of 10 pixels because on Instagram that likes part has more margin than the rest. And remember, we had put the rest up here. We have given them a 7 pixels, but I'm overwriting that with this specific one for only that part. So now I'm going to say again caption, and here I will come back here and I'll say this class, this is going to be a class of comment, okay, because I would like to change the styling for that specific one, and I'll say comments. And now here I'm going to go in the caption div and the direct child having the class of comments, give it this specific styling. And in my case, I'm going to just say color. The color is going to be RGB, and it's not this one, but I'm going to change the values inside, and this color is going to be 158, and next is going to be 157, 157, and here 157, but here is 158. It's kind of a gray color, you see it there. Okay, next step, I'm going to add another class also for this 1 hour ago, and I'll say class. Instead of comments, here I'm going to say the class is, let me say post date, because it's the date where we posted, like 1 hour ago, 1 day ago, 1 week ago, something like that. So I'll just copy this same styling. I'll copy the same styling and I'll paste it here, and instead of comment, this is going to be post date. But sometimes you don't want to repeat the same style twice. You can create one helper class and you'll put that same class on those two elements so that you don't repeat yourself. But for this case, we are going to stick with that, and I think that will work for us for now. So next step, we have this comment part. Okay, before that, let me show you what we have at this specific moment. And if I go back here, I just refresh right here. You see now, you see the way it has changed, right? It now looks closer to Instagram. You see these spaces and these classes, these links, and so on. Now this card looks a little bit more than the Instagram card, the real Instagram card. But the last part is still messy. That's why we have to style the last part also. And to style this last part, all I'm going to do is to go back here and style the comment part, and it has a class of comment, so it won't be that hard to style. And here I'm going to just say comment, and not comments but only comment, and I'll give it a display of flex, and I'll say align items in the center, or align all the items in the center, right? So another thing I'm going to do is I'll say justify content, and this is going to be space between. Again, now it's going to put that an equal space between those three elements. Okay, we have a padding. The padding is going to be 10 pixels. And by the way, the good thing with justify content is that you don't have to figure out how much space you have to put between your element. The space between will figure that out for you. You don't need to worry for that. And now here I'm going to add a border, and this border is going to be a 1 pixel solid light gray, and we'd like to add that to the downward section. And it's not only border but border top. I would like it to be at the top. So if I give that a try, you will see some changes here. If I refresh, okay, now you can't see that border right here now, because remember I said this whole card should have a white color. But as you can tell, we have a white color here, but down here is the white smoke. So I need to know why that is happening. So I'll go back here and I'll check my postcard, and it has a background of white. Now that means there is something that is not working right here, because I said my whole card should have a white color. Okay, and maybe, let me see, give me a second while I'm debugging this color. And I think it's because I didn't give this a height, maybe, but the main has a height and it has a color. And now the postcard, or maybe I should specify the height, and the height should be auto. I don't know, let me just give that a try. I'm not sure why it's not working. And now if I go back here, hopefully it should work now. If I refresh, unfortunately it's not working, but I'll figure that later. Let's first finish with the whole styling. And now all I'm going to do next here, after finishing the comment, I'll style the smiley. And the smiley is just this this span here containing our emoji. And the smiley is going to have a font weight of 700, and it's going to have a font size of 22 pixels that way, and we'll have an input, and this input is going to have a flex 1. I would like that input to take as much space as possible. Okay, so now instead of that class of input, I'm now going to style the input inside there. And that input, I would like to remove the border. Let me show you what I mean. Oh, my bad, I was not showing my code. Hope this is what I've just done. Now I want to style this. Let's go back to the browser. And if I refresh here, okay, you see now the way it's styled. The whole div takes the entire space, but now you see this has a border here and an outline, and I would like to remove both the border and the outline so that it becomes a little bit nicer than it is. Okay, so now here all I'm going to do is say border is going to be none, and the outline same, the outline is going to be none. Okay, and I would like that to take the entire width and also 100% that way. And now I'm going to give it a padding left, padding, not a margin, but a padding. A padding left is the padding left is going to be 15 pixels, and the padding right is going to be 10 pixels. I just make it that easy for you to see. So if now I give that a try, that's what we had, and now if I refresh, this is what we currently have down here. And in my opinion, it starts to look like the real Instagram now, because you can type in and you see now how the input has been styled correctly. Now the remaining part is this button. We have to remove this border and this background and give it a kind of bluish background. So all I'm going to say is to come to comment, and the direct child button, I would like to say outline none, and I'll say border none, because I would like to remove the border also, and I'll give it a background color of transparent, because I would like to give that kind of grayish background. And I'm going to give it a color, and the color is not going to be the real blue like blue, but instead I would like to say here, maybe let's try this 70, 180 and 240. I don't know if it will be okay. That's the blue color I want. And now I would like to make it a little bit bold. They'll say font weight 600 and font size. Now this font size is going to be 10 pixels. Okay, so now if I go back, oh sorry, again I think my PC had a problem, but this is all the style I've added like right now. Hope you can copy that and understand, because I was explaining that. So now if I go back here and refresh, let me try to refresh. Now you see the way this down upward has become lighter than it was. Oh, it has become sleek, right? And basically that's all for this styling. That's basically all. The next part is going to be changing this white smoke color down here to this same white color, and I will do that in a second. Now I think the problem was just coming from my side or from my PC, but if I now refresh, hopefully it should work. Now if we refresh, yeah, now you see the difference, right? The white smoke and the white color. Now we can spot the difference. Now the last touch I'm going to add on this is to bring back my justify content, so that whole card get placed in the center. So I bring this back like this, and if I go back here, I refresh. Remember, you have to refresh. I refresh and boom, we see it in the middle, right? And now we get that same Instagram card as we had before. So I think that's all for this tutorial. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.